Hello everybody, this is Kyrix with another edition of This Week in Kyrix. Today is Wednesday, June 3rd of 2015. And wow, I did a number on this poor desert. So let's fix the mess I made. And it's been one of those freaking weeks, people. I have managed to yet again wreck my back tire somehow. Because it went flat, and then I changed it. And then it went flat again, and I changed it, and then it went flat again. And I would have just walked to D&D today, but because I was out so much today paying bills, it just wrecked me, and I had a huge headache, and I felt like butt, so I just kind of stayed home. But I did get a no inflate tube, you know, one of the ones that's always just solid rubber. And in my experience, these things ride really hard, but hey, it's better than not riding at all, right? So, that's the thing. Anyway, power is paid this month. Everything except cable should in fact be paid this month, just off of what we have. And with any luck, my roommate will have a job at McDonald's soon, and he can pay the cable. So, yeah, that could be a thing. I've been watching Super Genius play Final Fantasy VIII blind, and against my better judgment, it's making me want to play it, because I keep remembering that for as much as I hate it, and I do think it is unequivocally the worst of the Final Fantasies, it's not a horrible game. There's just a lot of shit in it that was put in too much at once, you know? Like junctioning. Junctioning was a fantastic system, if only it didn't also take your magic, you know? And for as much as I hate Squall, and Cypher, and Renoa, and all the other characters that are supposed to be the main characters, I'm reminded of the fact that I love almost all the others. Yes, even Irvine. See, the thing with Irvine is, I'll never play him as a character, but as... mechanically, he sucks, but he's at least a fun character, you know? So, there is that. Sand. Sand, sand, sand. So much sandstone. But yeah, that's probably going to be on the list of games, is Final Fantasy VII and VIII. Maybe it's time I gave the damn things another try. Who knows, maybe Final Fantasy VIII has aged better than I thought it has. It's funny, though, the first thing I thought when I was looking at the actual in-game stuff for the first time, pretty much since it was new-ish, since Final Fantasy IX was new, let's put it that way, is, wow, this game looks a lot like Parasite Eve. Which I also have, by the way. But, it's a thing. I still have to work on some more Skatebird first before I do anything else. And, in an attempt to save money this month, I was going to dial Gamefly back to one rental at a time instead of the two that I have out. The idea being, oh, I'll just grab Mana Khemia 2 and put that in, you know, and then I'll just keep Alien Isolation, beat that game, etc. Only to discover to my horror that I don't know where either of those games are, much less their sleeves. I'm not worried about their sleeves. I can go to Gamefly, hey, I lost the sleeves these things come in. Could you mail me new ones so I can return them? But when you lose the games, yeah. I'm almost positive they came with me when I moved. And I'm going to have to tear apart pretty much everything I have to look for them. And I'm really hoping that's the case. That I just don't know where they are, but they are here. Otherwise, once the bills get stabilized, I'm going to have to see about replacing those games, which is going to suck. If I'm lucky, maybe they won't ask for anything for Mana Khemia 2, simply because It's not available for purchase, and it's barely available to rent. I think I literally had the last copy they have. So maybe they won't get up in arms about that. But Alien Isolation, that's a new-ish game. They might get a little pissy about that. Speaking of pissy, let's dig up some sand. Don't know why sand makes you pissy. Just run with it, people. It'll probably make sense in post. Yeah, implying there is a post-production of my videos. Anyone who watches my channels knows that I don't edit shit. I should, but I don't. 'Cause lazy! I'm kind of hoping my roommate does get a job. Well, not just for this, but I'm hoping he gets it soon. Because there is, finally, an Attack on Titan game in America, and I fucking want it. It's not due out for a couple more weeks, but I want it, I want it, I want it. Because, yeah. But it's for the 3DS, and again, I freaking want it, because I had a lot of fun watching that. And maybe soon I will edit, yes, the E word, the Attack on Titan blind watches so that you can see me see them blind. Ideally, in a perfect world, I would first contact an artist to commission a special Attack on Titan Kyrix Larvitar. But given my luck even getting a hold of artists, much less having the money for them, I don't see that happening. I really don't. As it is, I can't even get a hold of someone to do Sammy's pony for. So, who knows? Who knows? And I do need to get back into watching Extreme Ghostbusters, because I did enjoy that show, I just, for whatever reason, stopped watching it. On the not blind run / LP thing, I'm hoping to get Sammy to play Empire at War with me, because apparently she owns it. And I like that game, because it's fun. And it's 2 players, so we can beat each other up in it. Which is always fun, let's face facts. But, also trying to get her to get Baldur's Gate Enhanced, which I may or may not be able to talk her into doing as a Let's Play with me. And possibly also get Adam in on it too, because I pretty much deleted my Baldur's Gate LP, but that doesn't mean I want it to be dead. Not yet. There's still things I can do with it, and I want to do them with it, but right now it's not a thing. And I want it to be a thing, because channel. But, yeah. Ooh, iron. Kyrix likes iron. Kyrix likes it a lot. He likes it so much he almost said his real name instead of Kyrix, because he was so excited to find the iron. And then I remembered, hey, dumbass, you're on the clock. So that didn't become a thing. Not that my name isn't out there. I'm pretty sure Sammy calls me by name in the pony videos, which aren't out yet. Because I'm waiting. I'm waiting until we get further into the series. I'm waiting until we at least get caught up with Rainbow Rocks. But given the rate we're going, by then, Season 5 will probably be ready for us, so who knows. I'm hoping that, assuming she hasn't lost interest in it, that by Season 6, we'll be doing them all blind together, you know. Because I would love to do blind viewings, but, you know, things. Got to match her schedule with mine. We were actually going to start doing Season 3 like a week ago, but she's having issues with her roommate bringing his cousin or niece or something in, and her thing is she likes to wander the house screaming at or about her boyfriend on the phone, which makes for some bad conditions for recording, as you can well imagine. So, yeah. That's kind of been put a stop to for the time being. For a little while. Very excited about the Star Trek tournaments that are coming up. I have finally bought my Prometheus, my USS Prometheus. It should be here sometime next week. I bought it on Amazon. I want so badly to support the store and buy it there. But the fact of the matter is, I don't have the money free for it. You know? So, in a perfect world, every Star Trek ship I buy from here on out would be from the gaming store / bookstore, because it's both, really. But, I don't really have that luxury, and I wish I did. I wish so badly that I did. But I don't. So, yeah. But I do have my Promi coming, and I love my Prometheus. I don't even have it yet, and I love it because it's the Prometheus. How can you not love it? How bad could it be? You know? That's coming to me. I have finally, thanks to, I think her name is Terry Latorico or whatever. She does all sorts of tabletop stuff like Warhammer, painting guides, you know, actual battles that she does at tournaments. And more appropriately for me, she does reviews on prize support and other things for Attack Wing. So I have that. And she finally did Q Continuum months 1 and 2, which I will have as of Monday. Because I run the events and I have to pick them up. But I have seen the prizes and they are so good. Oh my god, the Klingon ship for month 2 is Kern. Kern is the captain, which is Worf's brother from The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, and potentially Voyager if either one of them were in it. But, yeah, Kern. I think he has some ability where it might just be Federation ships, but I think it's any. He doesn't suffer a faction penalty for being assigned to any ship, I think is what it is. So he's real good for cross-factioning, which the new guy will love because he plays all sorts of weird faction combinations. So he'll want that ship. And our driver will want that ship because since she won the PA last month, and I know I'm mispronouncing it, but I don't care. I don't really have the phlegm in my body right now to speak Klingon properly. But since she has that, she's been getting into Klingons, and I'm like, you see? This is... Because she was remarking about how I'm buying everything, and I'm like, this is how it starts. It's, oh, I have a Klingon ship. Well, I guess I need more Klingon ships to back it up, you know? In my case, it was, oh, I have Chang's Bird of Prey. Wouldn't it be nice if I could use the Negvar? You know, and, ooh, Admiral Gorkin, the Admiral card, is in... Well, he wasn't in Kronos 1, I don't think, but yeah, let's say he was in Kronos 1. I may as well get Kronos 1 so I can play him. Oh no, now I have so many Klingon ships, I better get the rest. That's how it starts. And she's finding that out the hard way. Because she, right now, she wants to play Federation and Romulans. There's nothing wrong with that, you know? Romulans was something I considered as a third faction. Which is ironic because I have far more Klingons than I do Romulans. But my factions were simple. I was going to play Dominion because I pulled it in a blind booster, and it turned out pretty cool. And Federation because Federation. And now I own damn near everything. And that is both a point of pride and of sadness because really I can't afford this shit. But yeah. It's a thing. I remember one of my friends, me and Skinner were talking around him. It's one of his roommates. he was so pissed because we wouldn't explain what a thing was. Because we'd always say, it's a thing, you know? He's like, well, what's a thing? We'd just say, well, it's a thing. And it drove him nuts because he couldn't figure out that it's just a generic placeholder for anything. When we're trying to describe something but we don't quite have the words in English to describe it properly, it's a thing. And it fucking made him bonkers because he couldn't figure it out. Alright, let's do some more work on this pyramid. Yeah, my nephews are still here, and they apparently play Minecraft on their phone. And I showed them this pyramid, it just blew their frickin' mind. Didn't save, of course, because that's for this week in Kyrix. But I did log in. I logged into the 2014, the two worlds that I built there, and showed them what I had done. And they were impressed. But their version on the phone is just creative mode, and I'm like, dude, I can't help you because, number one, you're so many more updates ahead of me. Number two, the PlayStation version works a little bit different. And number three, you're in creative mode and I play in survival. Like, yeah, see this thing I made? See this thing I made? I'm like, that's very nice, but I'm more impressed by the shit I made because I had to dig up the supplies for it. I mean, it's easy to make a house made entirely of diamond blocks when you could just spawn diamond blocks. It's a little bit trickier when you gotta find the diamond. Because, yeah, he had, like, a thing of, oh, look at all these gold blocks in my boat or whatever it was that he was making. And I'm thinking, yeah, if I could find that much gold, I'd make some golden shit, too. But I can't, so I don't. I don't know, maybe at the end of the year, if I've run out of projects, I'll just have a special jam session at the end of the year where I just go into creative mode and make shit. I don't know. And I use jam session for lack of a better phrase to describe it. But that's kind of what I did at the end of 2014, was just a jam session where I just got on there and let the clock run and just finished what I was working on. Expect, if I ever finish Skatebird, expect in the near future Skatebird Dungeon 2. And some Harvest Moon, because I've been craving some Harvest Moon. And who knows, maybe some Azure Dreams soon? Though, don't expect that to be posted anytime soon, because I honestly expect to be wrestling with that game for well over a year. Because that game is a bitch. It is a bitch, and it hates your joy. And anyone who's played that game will go, yeah, it hates your happiness. It'll give you these awesome things only to take them away, like 2 episodes later, or 2 dungeon runs later. And then all that work goes right down the fucking toilet. There's nothing you can do about it. But I will say that if I ever finish that LP and beat that game, it will be the first time I've ever done so. And you will get to see my absolute joy at having conquered that fucking game that has haunted me for a long time, and I'm stopping to use the back scratcher. I would actually reach over and scratch, but I risk dislodging the capture card if I do so. And I don't want to do that because it annoys me. Because it makes me look unprofessional. Which, let's face facts, I'm amateur hour, but still, I don't want to look it, you know? I totally am, too. I'm totally fucking amateur LP'er. Maybe someday I'll amount to something. Who knows? Maybe one of these days, one of you viewers will stumble across this video and hear me talking about how small time I am, and you're thinking, but Kyrix, you have 30,000 subscribers. Yeah, not at this point. Maybe 130, maybe 140, but I think it's closer to 128, something like that. Which means my New Year's resolution isn't going quite the way I'd hoped. But then again, it's still early in the year, and I've got about a third of the way there, so... For those who didn't see, my New Year's resolution was to do some cross-channel stuff, which I have done. Do some... Oh god, that hurt. Some reaction videos, which I have done, but I haven't posted any of. And to maybe, by 2016, hit 200 subscribers. And I'm not there yet. Which wouldn't surprise me. Honestly, if I were there already, it wouldn't have been worth doing. because that's just, oh, 3 months I can get 200 subscribers. You need to go viral for that shit to happen. Subscribers is a gradual process, I've learned. Either that or I just suck, but I'm going to maintain that it's a gradual process for the sake of my well-being, my mental well-being. I mean, let's face facts, I probably do suck, but I'd like to think that maybe someday I'll get some numbers. Might even someday hit 4 digits, that would be nice. I'd like to hit 4-digit subscribers. Hell, I'd love to pull Runaway Guy's numbers, but that's never going to happen. Not unless I co-star in one of their videos, and given that all of their videos are done in person, and I don't go to conventions or even leave the fucking state, that's not going to happen. Unless some major convention happens in Florida, and I get an invite to show up like, hey, Kyrix, if you come here, we'll let you be in one of our videos. Never going to happen. I would love to be in one of their videos, though. Like, I know nothing about Smash Brothers or whatever. Not even particularly interested in it, but hey, I'll do it if it means getting some publicity and hanging out with people who are actually worth something online. You know? Just to be able to hang out with other LPers in person, get some advice, you know? Well, let's face facts, the extra publicity never hurts. And that makes me sound like such a shithead, like, yeah, I wanna leech off their popularity, but if you think about it, almost all the LPers I watch come from one of 2 sources. Either A, I stumbled across them off the Something Awful Let's Play collection thing, or B, I saw them in a Runaway Guys video. Because Lucajin I saw connected to the Runaway Guys, I think it was on their TV Tropes page. Josh Jepson I know from their Super Genius from the Battletoads video, which I found from Proton John, who I found from the Something Awful forums. Hell, even the Runaway Guys themselves came from following Proton John, because Nintendo Capri Sun I found from Battletoads, which again, Proton John. Checka Conroy I had avoided for a while because I don't know why. Apparently my brain, from his name, from nothing from his name, and this makes no logical sense by the way because there's nothing in his name to suggest this. From his name I just got this image that he was just gonna be annoying as shit. And he's not. He's really... The joy he takes in video games is just really amazing to watch, you know? Because he enjoys video games as much as I do. And I don't know if it comes across in my work, but it sure as hell comes across in his. The difference is, he's willing to put a lot more effort into the post-production of his videos than I am, you know? And that's something that's probably going to keep me small time for a very long time. But yeah, all these LPers I know from that. You know, like I watch Chip Cheesem and General Ironicus. I adore their stuff. Their stuff entertains the crap out of me. Again, Something Awful forums. I think I started with Lego Star Wars and then moved on to their Metal Gear stuff. You know, I've been watching the Zorak LP of I think it's Eternal Ocean Endless Blue or something like that. It's that Wii game where you swim and dive and all that shit. And I know them because I had been watching Shiroka Joe or Red Chocobo, whatever the fuck you want to call him. I had, well, not watching, but I had been reading his Pokemon text LPs and enjoying them. And that led me to some of his other stuff, including the Man vs. Wild LP, which the game is abysmal, but the video is definitely worth watching. And that led me to do, oh, what else are they doing? Endless Ocean. Okay, I'll watch this. And I will say right now, it is dry as hell. But very educational and still entertaining. And there's some moments where it is just side-splitting, like, they're legendary animals. And in the new one, which I think is Eternal Blue, And I say new, it's the newer of the two. It's the sequel. They have legendary animals, and one of them was a white sperm whale. And the instant that thing popped on screen, Zorak just, from fucking memory, launched into this long Moby Dick quote about the part where Ahab is just fighting Moby Dick and stabbing him and gonna drown with him, and he just launches into the entire thing. It's gotta be 3 or 4 paragraphs worth of dialogue. And the whole time, Red's just sitting there, Zorak, come back! No! No, Zorak, stop! Stop! You know? And Zorak's completely ignoring him. At the end of it, he just kind of pants and comes out of it like, what did I do? What did I do? Like he was in some kind of literary trance. And it was amazing. It was very funny. But, the thing I like about that LP is both of them, I think one might be in the Coast Guard, and both of them dive, at least, if not for their job, at least I think they do it recreationally, and they know a lot about sea life. And I don't remember if it's both of them or just one of them, but one of them, at least, lives in Florida, although I think they live more south than me. But still, it's nice to see someone else. They're talking about, like, Florida wildlife. I'm like, yeah, I've seen those. And it's educational, and they do research, and they talk about all sorts of cool shit, and you learn shit, and I like to learn shit. That's why I watch documentaries. I love to learn. My brain never switches off. Which is why I'm so nocturnal. It's not that I'm alert at night, though I am. It's because my brain won't shut off and let me go the fuck to sleep. But, yeah, I mean, I know I'm, like I said, I'm fucking small time, but I do love to plug people I watch, because who knows, maybe you somehow came to my channel and have no idea who these people are, and you need to know, you know? Though honestly, if you found my channel before you found the Runaway Guys, and Luca Jin, and Josh Jepson, and Super Genius, and frickin' Slow Beef, and Diabetes, and Chip Cheesem, if you don't know any of these names and you're watching my channel, then wow. I'm not sure if I should be scared or honored that you found me first, but best part is, nobody watches this far into these This Week in Kyrix videos. And hell, I haven't even posted the last 2 yet. I kind of slipped on that. I need to, though. But I can probably say literally anything I want to. I can rattle off my fucking social security code and no one would ever find it. But I'm not gonna, just in case. Because I'm gonna have that one anal fan who's into identity theft, you know? What's that? A free identity to steal? Yeah, have fun with all this debt. I'm not nearly as bad into debt as I say. It's just, we're a little behind on the bills. You know how it is. It happens to everyone at some point. At some point in your life, you fall behind on some payment unless you're rich. If you're rich, what the fuck are you doing watching me? You know, I really ought to sign into my Patreon account at some point. I don't think anyone's ever paid into it, but that's something I should at least check in on once in a while. I need to start posting videos onto Patreon. And someone, I forget who it is, it might have been Steven or someone, recently made me rethink something like, oh, I don't want to have a Patreon exclusive thing. I think it was actually Fee, now that I think about it, saying, I don't want people to have to pay for videos, but see, the problem is, while I don't want someone to have to pay and subscribe for a video, it's also literally the only thing I have to offer. I don't draw. I can't really live stream, so I can't have special live streams for my subscribers. I'm too fucking poor to give shit out, you know? So it's really all I have to offer is like, hey, you want to watch me play this game? Well, please, donate to Patreon. See, I'm rapidly approaching the point where there's no excuse for me to not get back into Let's Playing full-time and recording full-time. Because I'm about as settled into this place as I'm gonna get, you know? And my excuse of, oh, I need curtains so I can see for like skateboard racing falls apart if I do it on the computer, because I don't get glare on the laptop. I only get it on the TV. Also, I need to get a hold of some friends soon so I can do Little Big Planet 1 and 2. And who knows, I might do 3 as well. If 1 and 2 record well, if I can get enough people here to do it, then, and we all have fun doing it, because that's important too, because if I can't get people back, it doesn't matter. But I want to do the 3rd one, and potentially the 4th one if it ever comes to PlayStation 3. I still don't see anything in particular that makes me say, oh, I need a PlayStation 4. But so far it seems that they're at least teasing, if they haven't already done it, backwards compatibility. And backwards compatibility is the sticking point. Because if I can play all my PlayStation 1 and 2 and 3 games on a PlayStation 4, I'll do it. You know, or at least my 1 and 3. Because, I mean, I still have my PS2, so... Ideally, there would be this one monstrous PlayStation system with memory card slots so that I can put in my memory card without some kind of special adapter and transfer my data and play 1, 2, 3, and 4, and hell, 5 if it's out. But just play all the games on one system. There's literally no sense in it not doing them. Because they're not still making money off of PS1 and 2. Hell, they stopped making games for the 1 ages ago, and I think even now they finally stopped making PS2 games. Although I will say Sony took forever to stop supporting the PS2. And good for them. Not all of us make the next-gen jump as early as others. And you shouldn't penalize us for it. But, I mean, you could argue, oh, well, they still make money off the PS2 in-store games, like the PlayStation Network stuff, and yes, they do, but you know what? That's no excuse for us not to be able to play the actual games if we own them. I mean, that's a fucking Xbox trick right there. Yeah, we're gonna make you buy the same game 8 times just so you can play it. No. If I own Ring of Red for the PlayStation 2, which I do, I shouldn't have to buy it on the PlayStation Network, which I did. Because it was a fun game, and I owned it. And I didn't want to get it back from my friend yet, so... That reminds me, I need to call one of my friends that I haven't talked to in a while. It's been a while since we touched base. I need to chat with him. I also need to talk to my other friend, because I haven't heard from him in forever, and that's the problem. I'm so easy to lose contact with, because sometimes I just forget to call. But to be fair, not a lot goes on most of the time, and if something important were to come up, they can call me, because they both have my number. They both called here before. And they both know where I live, because they helped me move in. Okay. Oh, thank God. I think I found... Damn it! Oh, no, wait. That's natural. But say, thank God, I think I filled it in. You know, I kind of like this little obelisk. I think I'll leave it here. This is already filled in. I was looking at this and thinking, you know, I might just add this to my current pool, but it's already a pool. Pyramid's looking good. Looking so good. Haven't the slightest idea what I'm going to do with it, but it's looking good. Drank too much soda today. I've got to pee like crazy. Fortunately, my bladder of holding will see me through. It always does. Yeah, word used to be gamer's bladder. Now it's the bladder of holding because it sounds cooler. You know, if you're a nerd. I think I might actually start harvesting this sand now. You know, since I can. Because this sand will actually cover all of my stairs. Probably. I mean, hell, it was enough to map the pyramid, right? I really wish this had taken longer to build. And hey, what can you do? Sometimes you just overshoot stuff, sometimes you undershoot it. And if I were smarter and better at math, I'd be able to tell you which one I did. You know what, I'm gonna start harvesting this sand. Now this is important. How many rows back can I go? Okay. 1, 2, 3. No, you know what? Let's not bother with this part yet. Two. Ah, yeah. Just burrow all the way through this thing, and I'm so excited because in about 8 days Jurassic World comes out, and I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna get the money to see it. But oh, I've got to see that movie. It's new. Gotta see it. It's gotta be a thing. Love me some dinosaur movies like you wouldn't believe. Because you know what? I'm still a kid. It's just how I am. I'm still that kid who loves dinosaurs and is scared shitless of the T-Rex. And I hope I'll always be that kid. Because when you get right down to it, that's a fun thing to be. We'll just put those there so I can put them back later. You know what? If I can do those sides there, or if I can do the back entirely, then I can go all the way back and hollow out this whole fucking thing. Not gonna happen with that amount, though. But hey, it's a start. Yeah, there's no way that's gonna cover even a fraction of this shit. You know what? Hold on. Do I have any torches left? I do not. I could, though, if I really wanted to. I could have lots of torches. You know, apparently my sensitivity to being outside stems yet again from my chronic dehydration. You'd think I would have learned to drink more than I do by now. But hey, apparently we all have our flaws, and that's mine. But, yeah. Anyway, I am probably going to start D&D soon, because one of my friends, Jay, is willing to chip into the D&D fund. I've got about $20, $22 maybe, and I need about 30 more. And he apparently is going to have some extra money on this check from some holiday pay. And he said he'll contribute. I don't know what he's going to do. He's going to toss in like 5, 10, or if he's going to toss in the full 20 that I need, or the full 30 rather. It's anyone's guess, but every little bit counts, you know? Let's even these stairs out, shall we? Where do I need? 3, 5, 20 sand. Unless I miscounted. But yeah, and oh, more good news. It's not going to come up right now, but there's another D&D module released. That's basically what I told him. Is I'm like, look, here's the deal. We've either got, I can either try and hold out and get some more money to do the actual player's handbook so I can run the game, or I can just take this money from PayPal and put it towards that new module so you guys have a choice. And he opted I'd rather chip in and get the game going. And really, I can't blame him. Because, I mean, what does it matter if I have 1 module, 2 modules, or 30 modules for them to play if you never get to play, you know? So, make of it what you will. I intend to make of it a D&D game. But we'll see how that turns out. Doom, 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 doom. And there is a slight treasure dispute for the League game I'm in, which I intended to resolve, hopefully, what is now today, since it's 12:00. Well, it's 12:10. Unless it's 12:01. Yeah, I've apparently lost 9 minutes since I last checked the clock. But we found Gauntlets of Ogre Power, and I want them. See, League rules state that in the event of a dispute between magic items, the item goes to the person with the least magical items, which is me. I have none. Whereas the other guy who wants them, who is a fighter, a gnome fighter, who I believe is dex-based, and I don't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure he's actually dex-based. And he is, he has an item. And that item is this salve thing, this salve that you put on for healing. And I know it does wounds, it might do diseases, it does all sorts of interesting... Well, it's not a salve, it's an ointment, but either way. It's a multi-use magical item. And his argument is, well, my item sucks, you know? And my argument is, well, at least you have one. I don't. To which they counter, well, you had an item, that character just died. And I have 3 responses to that. Number 1, I don't have that item anymore, because the DM ruled that I was eaten with everything I have on me. Even though that's not doable in League. You know, or at least not in the module we're in. So that item is gone forever, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I don't have an item. Number 2, even if I did have that item, guess what? My item sucked too. So his argument about my item sucks goes right out the window, because so did mine. My item allowed me 3 times a day at most to cast Detect Magic. Well, we have a warlock in our party who does that at will, and he does it constantly. Thereby, even if I had my item, completely negating it. So, yeah. I don't get to do that anymore. And number 3, even if my item didn't suck, and even if I still had my item, which it does, and I don't, I was also the first one to get a magic item, and he was one of the most recent ones to do so. So, I've gone a long time without a magic item, and it's my fucking turn. You know? I mean, not to get all pissy about it, but I kind of deserve to get a little pissy about it. And they argue, well, he's a fighter and he's only got 15 strength, which I do as well. And my argument to that is, because they keep saying, oh, you're more spell-based. No, I'm fucking not. I'm a war cleric. If I were a life cleric or a light cleric or a nature cleric or literally any other kind of cleric, yeah, I'd say, well, you know what, you're right, I am a spellcaster. No, I'm not. I'm a war cleric. I am immensely melee-based. The only reason they don't realize this is because they were with me in the Wednesday game, where this character originated, where I was entirely melee-based. And now I do have some spells that let me fight as a spellcaster, but I'm not that kind of spellcaster, you know? And I still use my mace a lot. A lot, you know? And it kind of pisses me off Because here's the other thing. Okay. Like I said, I'm willing to bet he's a dex-based fighter, which is not freaking cool, because that means, oh, I'm gonna scrap the stat that I have been using in favor of just increasing this other stat a little bit. You know? And that's not cool when I can use it and you already have a good dex. Number 2, he's 5th level, so as a fighter, one of two things happened. Either he used his thing on a feat, in which case his strength doesn't matter to him that much, or he increased something else, like, say, his dex, in which case his strength doesn't matter to him very much. Because I'm sorry, that's the only way that he's a 5th level fighter with a 15 strength. Because if you're a strength-based fighter, then you're starting with a 15, if not a 16 strength. Maybe even a 17 if you're one of those people. At level 1. You're just going to. Because why would you put anything other than your primary stat as your 15? Because in League, you get 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. Or you can point buy, in which case you can have multiple 15s at the cost of other stats. And he's a gnome, and I believe is a forest gnome, which was a dex character. Which means it's entirely possible that he's got a 16 dexterity. If not higher. So... Again, I'm someone who could use that so that I can, you know, keep contributing. I keep telling him, I'm like, look, I want to contribute to this. And what they're going to get is... Is it petty that I'm going to do this? Yes, it is, but I'm really past the point of giving a shit. Because every time I try and do something, I'm negated on it. Either I come up with a new spell combination that they take away from me, or I come up with a new trick that they take away from me. I'm not allowed to keep any of the stuff that I use that works, and it's pissing me off. Also, this is a character who has no fucking money and no magical items, because he was from the Wednesday game, which is skimpy as fuck on both of those things. None of us in Wednesday had any money, none of us had any magic items, and that's why we don't play that particular module anymore. And this is something that I can contribute on. And one of the guys has a magic sword that he's willing to give away. And I don't use swords, I use bludgeoning weapons. Because he's like, well, you can take this sword. I'm like, I don't want your fucking sword. I want this item that's going to make me good. You know? Because he wants this mace that we found. And he's willing to basically say, hey, I'll give someone this sword in exchange for that mace. We'll give the sword to the frickin' halfling, or the gnome, and let me have the strength item. And come tomorrow, or today, or whenever, come the session, I'm going to ask to see his sheet, because I want to see what his fucking stats look like. And one of two things is going to happen. Either I'm going to get that, and I'm going to be able to make my character do the shit he wants, or I'm not going to get it, and they're not going to like what happens, because if they say, oh, you're a spellcaster, then I'm going to fucking be a spellcaster. I'm not going to draw my Warhammer, I'm not going to fight in melee at all, I'm going to cast spells exclusively, and they're going to be real mad when they want healing and find out, oh, sorry, burnt all my spells. Because I'm a spellcaster, you know? I mean, if I had a 19 strength and could fight in melee, you know, as well as I do my spells, because for those who don't know D&D, an 18 and a 19 are both a +4 to that stat. If I had a 19 strength and my 18 wisdom, that means I hit equally well with spells or with melee objects like my Warhammer. Which means that if I want to, I can dive straight into melee combat, and unleash 6 flavors of hell on whatever I'm fighting. Or I can step back and use my spells and be equally as good. And there's one other thing to consider. I'm there every week. I have missed 1 week on the Thursday games. 1. And that was because of New Year's. Because I could not get home in time. Because I was told that my ride from my friend's house, my friend's New Year's party, would be having us home by a certain time, and he didn't. You know? Through no fault of my own, he didn't have us home when he said he was going to have us home. And when I finally did get home, we'd have already been starting. I would have already been a half an hour to an hour into that session. And I was frankly so exhausted that I wouldn't have been able to keep awake for it anyway. And that is the only session I've ever missed of the Thursday game. Now, on top of that, the other guy who's in competition for this same item has a history of preemptively rage quitting the session. Which is to say, he'll come in a bad mood and just not play that week. I want to point out, not call in a bad mood, I'm not going to make it. Come in to the store, be in a foul mood, and leave before we start. So, who should get the item? The guy who's always there, or the guy who's not? You know? Basically, in every single thing that we should be scoring, I'm coming out on top. And yet, the party's voting against me on all these, and I'm going to bring all this shit up. And it's going to come to that. I'm going to look at his thing, and I swear to God, if he has more than a 15 dex, I'm going to tell him, no, he's a dex fighter. He does not get this item. I am a strength fighter. I would, let me put it this way, my dexterity is an 8, which is a -1. I couldn't dex fight if my life depended on it. Matter of fact, I keep getting into bad situations because my dex is so low, it lowers my initiative, so I go last. All the time. Of course, when you're a healer, that can be a good thing, because that means that if my party is down, I can heal them before their next turn and they can get back up. And if they aren't down, I can start swinging on whatever. But yeah, like I said, every single thing, and I've talked to Jay, who also plays 5th, and he agrees with me, yeah, I should absolutely get that. And it's not even just, oh, agree with him and he'll shut up, because he'll disagree with me when he doesn't agree with me. You know? But he's like, yeah, if he's a dex fighter, that's bullshit. And I'm pretty sure he is, because gnomes don't really make good strength fighters. If anything, there was something that our dwarf took, which were boots of, like, climbing and springing or something like that. And, admittedly, the dwarf could use this as well as the gnome, which increases his speed to 30. So he goes from a 25 to a 30, which is what everybody else except for the elf has. And to be perfectly honest, the dwarf is a better fighter than the gnome. He needs it more. But he could have made a play for that item, and he'd have gotten it. Because all the dwarf has is a ring of fire resistance, you know? But he hasn't made a play for that item, and it kind of pisses me off, because that would be more useful, especially if he's a dex fighter. Because it doesn't matter how hard he swings if he can't get into position. You know? If he uses all his movement to get into place, doesn't matter if he has a plus 30 to swing. But, see, in my case, it may seem very hypocritical that I have wisdom as a primary stat and I didn't put points into strength. But you see, for me, wisdom is a class feature which improves things like my ability to heal my friends, the saving throws on my spells and whatnot, and strength is a secondary. Wow, we're done already? Whereas, and you might be thinking, well, Kyrix, if that's your secondary, you shouldn't be trumping it over his. Fighters don't do secondary. They do either or, you know? If you're a dex fighter, you don't put points into strength. Pretty much at all. And we'll be stopping soon, because that's the timer, and I've really got to pee. But we're not done yet. But that's the thing. If you're a strength fighter, you're at most putting like 12 points into something. So, like I said, if he's a strength fighter, why is his strength only 15 by that level? He obviously grabbed a feat of something if he has a 15 strength at level 5. So, I don't know. His sheet might very well be a mess. For all I know, I think he might honestly have grabbed a pre-generated sheet. So I don't know what the hell's going on with his sheet, but I'm going to find out. And like I said, if they want me to be a spellcaster, I'm going to be pure spellcaster. And they're going to be real pissed if I do that. Because I'm barely going to contribute. Because once my spells are done, I'm just going to take defensive actions and sit there and tank shit. I'm not going to move into melee, because, well, we've only got a 15 strength, and apparently that's worthless for fighting. You know? I'm just going to sit here and cast spells. To the exclusion of all else. Is it petty? You bet your ass it is. But you know what? I've been screwed over so many times with this character. Because my other character didn't get screwed over at all. But this particular character has been fucked so many times, and I'm sick of it. It's almost not even fun to play him because of how many times he's been screwed over by various things. And if you can't have fun playing the character, why are you playing the character, you know? And the worst part is, he is more useful to the party than my other character ever was, than the wizard was. Because he happened to join up in an area full of undead. So, that's the other thing, is I pull my weight more than the gnome does. Because it's like, oh look, here's a room full of zombies. Well, let me just turn undead, and now there aren't any more zombies. Or there's like 3 zombies as opposed to the 8 to 10 that there were. Literally, with one action, I pretty much end the battle. And by the time we run into more zombies, I'm good to go again. And I bitched at the DM and got us in a much better position than we were, because he was going to have us start a battle, which, by the way, 2 of us were down to single-digit hit points. None of us had any fucking spells, etc. And we had gotten through a massive battle, and there was going to be another major battle. And I told him, I pointed out, hey, this spell is still active. No, it's not. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, and he could tell I was just about to fucking leave because of this. And he's like, well, fine. Because he's like, well, you guys weren't in there. I'm like, yes, we were. So he restarted the battle. He's like, well, you're going to die. I'm like, I don't care. He restarted the battle so that my spells were still active, and it was just me and the other Dex fighter, the new girl, in the room with these enemies. And you know what? Because he did that, we were in a much better position. But he would have started me with no defensive spells whatsoever. The party all in one room where a single area attack could take us out. And yeah, we ended up surviving because I insisted on that shit. But I mean, I am so fed up. I mean, if I don't get something, because I need to be throwing a fucking bone, I really do. Because my options for the 3 magical items that we have are a breastplate, which is worse armor than what I have, so no. A mace, which I could use, but it hits weaker than my warhammer. And it would give me, I think I have a plus, yeah, I have a +5 to hit. That would make it a +6 to hit with just that mace. Whereas if I use those gauntlets, then I'm hitting with a +6 7, I believe, with every weapon I possess. So... Plus, there's another perk that you think, oh, that's perfect for a cleric, is I can make it do radiant damage to undead. And yes, that sounds awesome until you consider the fact that I can do that with literally any weapon I possess. It's a level 1 spell, and I basically say, yeah, for the next 10 minutes I do radiant damage. I can do it with javelins, I can do it with Warhammer, I can do it with any fucking weapon I own. So having a mace that does it for free isn't that big a deal to me. And not only can I do that, I can take it a step further and do it for my allies as well. So that's an item that would be wasted on me. And honestly, I might take the whole petulance thing a step further and just refuse any magical items ever. So that if I get one, I'm like, no, not taking it. And I might specifically save up my I don't have items at all thing until someone really wants something just so that they can't have it and never use the damn thing. Well, you couldn't use this item. I know. I want it anyway. Why? Because I want it. Because it would be perfect for you, and you cheated me out of an item that was perfect for me, so I fucking want it. It's mine now. Alright, anyway, I'm Kyrix, and this has been This Week in Kyrix, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!